Hey guys, Tuesday the 16th, we're in the kitchen. We are running low on our lard for cooking. We do from time to time use store-bought lard. I don't really like to use it just for baking. We do cook in our cast iron. We'll put a little bit of lard depending on what we're cooking. But the store-bought stuff, guys, is going to have citric acid. It's going to have something called BHT. It's a preservative used in a lot of foods. But it's like an antioxidant. But it potentially causes cancer, so we don't want to use a lot of that. I mean, obviously anything in moderation. It's used in a lot of food products, guys. Mayonnaise, mustards, all different kinds. But I just want to go ahead and make my own lard. Okay, and then we're going to jar it. So we have a local source of pork. So this is leaf fat, pork leaf fat. There's hardly any meat on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to dice this up and we're going to put it in the pot and we're going to slowly render that fat. And I'll show you the process of how to do that. You want to go low and slow, and it's going to take time, guys. It can take a little over an hour. But then we'll have a really good quality white lard when it cools. We're not going to be canning or anything. When you put that hot lard in that jar, it's actually going to be shelf stable, but I go ahead and I put it in the fridge. We've got 2 refrigerators in this house, guys. So let's go ahead and make our own lard. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and just slice this up really fine. And whatever is left, you'll see as we render, you'll actually have like a chicharron. And those are really tasty to eat. So I'm going to just keep chopping all these up real fine. Little strips. It'll help the rendering process as well. And guys, you could probably go to your grocery store and buy pork fat, also known as leaf fat, is what you really want. Alright, I'm going to finish this up and we'll get it in the pot. So real quick, I wanted to mention, where does pork leaf fat come from? Well, it's one of the cleanest fats on the animal, and it comes from around the kidneys, guys. This is what you want. You could use conventional pork fat, but it's not going to come out as clean. So when you go to your butcher, you ask them, say, I want specifically leaf fat, and this is the fat around the kidneys on the pork, on the body of the pork. All right, let's finish this up. All right, guys, we're going to put our fire and we're going to put it on low and slow, nice and easy. You don't want to rush. All right, guys, it is starting to simmer. We're going to keep that low and slow. I probably got it a little bit too high, so I'll lower that heat. And then we'll come back here in a couple of minutes and I'll show you when it starts to turn into fat and liquid, and it all kind of melds together. There's a process to this, guys, and I'm going to show you. You have to let it go low and slow for a long time. Okay, guys, it's been about 10 minutes on low. It's starting to render, but I want to show you something in here. Okay, there is going to be water in some of this fat. Do you see the camera's getting kind of foggy, but do you see the bubbles? That's going to be water in the fat. And part of this process too is we're going to continue to simmer this nice and slow, and we're going to evaporate the water out of that fat. We want a good, clean, white lard. We're going to continue to go, and I'll update you as we progress. All right, guys, we've got some really good rendering. It's been another 15 minutes, guys. This takes a while. You want to go slow. See all that fat in there? So we're going to keep going nice and slow, and we'll keep rendering that low and slow. All right, guys, it's been about 40 minutes. It's doing really well. The leaf fat strips are starting to cook down, and we're rendering all that fat. We're just going to go low and slow, guys. Take our time with this. Don't rush it. You don't want to burn it. We'll be back in another 15-20 minutes. All right, guys, we're looking good. It's been about 10 minutes. Really rendering that fat. We're almost done. I'm going to probably say another 20 minutes. We want to really get it clear. We want to boil out all the liquid, all the impurities. So it'll take a little bit of time. All right, guys, it's been another 10-15 minutes. I'm turning up the heat a little bit. We're getting down to where you're seeing less of the fat, the white parts. And what's happening now, we're continuing to render that fat out. And then whatever is left, any kind of bits and pieces of meat, is going to be the chicharron. And yes, we're going to eat that. That's going to be a snack for sure. We'll just keep going, medium heat, and we're going to keep an eye on it. All right, guys, you can see that the pork is turning more brown. We're losing that white fat. We're rendering it. And it's been another 10 minutes, so we're going to keep going. Just going to lower the heat. We don't want it too hot. We don't want it to burn, so I'm going to lower that temp. And we'll be back in 15 minutes. All right, guys. I think we're at a point where we're going to go ahead and stop. I think we've gotten as much of the fat rendered as possible. I don't want to burn it or char it. So I'm going to go ahead and start pulling these chicharrones out. And we're going to just make sure to drain them as best as we can. So I'm going to let it sit here for a minute. All right, guys. Check this out. Oh, the pork chicharrones. So we're going to drain them really good. Really good. I'm going to get as much of that fat out as possible. Now I've got a pan here with some paper towels. And once these are dry, we're going to season with Miss Lippy's Bayou Blend. We're definitely going to do the voodoo dust. And we're going to do the pork and good. And these are going to be an amazing snack. Okay, guys. Spread them out. Little voodoo dust. And some pork and good. And we just keep going. I'm going to get all of those bits of pork out. And take your time with it. Guys, if you're going to have fat, make your own fat. Make your own lard. So much better for you. And we really don't use a lot of this, guys. I'll pull the cast iron out if I'm going to cook maybe a steak or something, or maybe a vegetable. I'll half a teaspoon. Get the cast iron coated. All right, season. And just keep going. Get all those little bits out. And then we're going to let the lard cool a little bit. I do want it hot when it goes in the jar. I don't want it boiling. And I'm going to filter it too. I'll show you how I do that. I've got a chinois with a paper filter. We might just use the chinois. And get all that out of there. And it's going to be a really good snack. I'm going to finish this up, guys, and then I'm going to show you how I filter the rest of this. Alright, guys, I have a chinois, okay? Some chefs call it a China cap, but it's a chinois. It's one of the most finest strainers that you can get. This is hot, so I'm going to be careful, so I'm just going to pour it right through there. Careful, don't burn yourself, guys. This is super hot. And most of the particles are out. And there's a little bit of particles in there. I'm not worried about it. Just going to drain it really good. This is kind of a small batch. Normally I do big batches, but this will be fine. This will probably give us about 4 to 6 half pints. Now we are going to refrigerate this, guys. I don't want it to sit in the pantry and go rancid. We want to keep it refrigerated. Let me go ahead and set this area up and we'll turn the camera back on. All right, guys, the sediment has settled to the bottom. So we're just going to take our ladle, going to be careful, try not to make a mess, and we're going to fill our jars. Nice. Make sure to leave a little bit of space because it will harden and it might expand a little bit. Right about to there. And again, we'll do the same thing. I can't stop eating those chicharrones. I need to stop. Yeah, we might get 8 half pints. All right, guys, I'll keep going and I'll show you what they look like when they cool. All right, guys. So we had 4 pounds of pork leaf fat, and we've got, I think it was actually 3 pounds, I'm sorry. And we've got 4 half pints of the fat. Now, this is a little hot. Now, some people store it in their dry storage. I'm gonna let it cool down for 24 hours. Tomorrow, this jar, and I'll take a picture and show you when I post it, is gonna be snow white. It's gonna be beautiful. But this is really better for you if you're gonna use fat for cooking than buying the lard that you get in the store. Just a quick little video, guys. I wanted to show you. We've been doing a lot of videos lately. I don't know why, I'm having fun. But the weather is great. We showed you a little quick garden tour. But I've had a lot of folks saying, yes, please show us how to do the lard. It's so simple, guys. You're just cutting up pork fat. You could use traditional pork fat if you want. Comes off either the butt or the shoulder or the belly. But the leaf fat down by the kidneys are the best. So to talk to your butcher, we have a local source. If I had to go to the grocery store, I could. I know the butcher's there and I can say, hey, I need to get a box of leaf fat. And they can probably separate it, by a couple of pounds. So this was about 3 pounds, and we got 6 half pints of our own lard to cook with. And we just pop it in the fridge. Let me show you while I've got you here. Perfect. I forgot I had 1 left. Make sure you label everything, but this is what it looks like, guys. Nice white pork lard. So, for example, tonight we're going to be cooking some chicken, and we always cook in our cast iron if we can. So we're going to do some chicken breast. I want to crisp the skin, so I'm going to put about a tablespoon in there, season the chicken, cook it on up, and then that's just how we use it. You know what? We do eat healthy. We have olive oil. We do different kind of coconut oils as well too. But sometimes you just got to have the fat. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. We're having fun. We are going on a special quick little trip this weekend. It's going to be a surprise. We're going to be staying at a fancy hotel, and we're going to be seeing a concert. So that will probably post Monday or Tuesday. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, God bless. Take care.